17 and a half years married, 4 kids. I begged this man, please I've never been out of the U.S. Can we please go out of the U.S.? I want to experience something new. Can we travel? Can we do something? No. I get a text from him 5 minutes ago. What does it say? Hey, I need your permission. It's in the planning, but me and Aaron, his fiance, are taking her kids and he wants to take Kylie to Mexico for spring break. And I said, because he needs my permission to do that. And I said, absolutely, it's a great experience for her. Just please watch her, have fun and be safe. But it's really, really hard for me because it's like 17 and a half years, 4 kids, and I begged you to take us or to take me and to do those kinds of trips and to spend that kind of time with us. And it was always no. And now you're giving this woman everything that I begged you for. Everything I begged you for, you are giving to her. People do that because they want to feel heard. They want to know that they're validated for feeling the way that they're feeling, that it's not right and it isn't okay. And it confirms my choice to divorce was right. Even though I'm the one that was shamed and I'm the one that lost friends of 15 years because they didn't want to be associated with me anymore because I walked away. It's just so hurtful. It's so hurtful. When the person that you love and just you see them give somebody else everything that you ask for. Everything you ask for. And they turn around and give it to somebody else. And maybe it's because he's giving it to her because he realized, hey, Mandy left me because I wouldn't give it to her and I wasn't listening to her. I'm not gonna make that same mistake twice. But it still doesn't change the fact. You're giving her everything I asked you for. You know, talking about self-worth and loving yourself. It's hard not to, when something like this happens, to go, why is she worth doing all of this for and I'm not? And why? And I know I shouldn't think that, but you can't help but think that. And then on the other hand, you're like, and why can't I find somebody who wants to give me those things and wants to love me and let me love them too in the same? Like, I'm not just saying give that to me, but like mutual, like I want to give you everything that you want and I want you to help me get the things that I want. It just feels so unfair, and life isn't fair. And you know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is.
It's like, I honestly can't do this anymore. Like,
no, I think that
why am I still in this like place where I'm stuck for years? Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be like together so I can raise the kids, you know. He's an amazing dad. He's done an amazing job. The whole thing
still will be. Will be.
I just like,
he'll be better without you there. Like,
I think he deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't. I feel like a f***ing failure, that it's like a third marriage. Yeah, I feel like a f***ing loser. But I can't even think about that. Like, I want to be happy.
It is hard to process and understand how unstable modern women are. What do modern women want? Women go on the internet, rant about their dissatisfaction in marriage. They talk the man down at home, even go close to cheating on him. They make men very miserable and make him feel like his mere presence in the world is the reason for her headache. Then, after getting enough moral support from poor women like herself on the internet, they decide to divorce the man. I actually saw the video of a woman who literally said her marriage was like a jail. She said, although she has not been in jail, but she knows people that have been in jail, and the experience is similar. I mean, my jaw dropped at such pettiness. Just because your husband says he doesn't want you to go to certain places, wear some kind of provocative dresses, you claim he is taking away your freedom. Modern women are delusional.
You guys might make $1 million on only. You're trading $1 million for 45 to 70 years of loneliness. $1 million is a
But
house.
they said they're okay with
It's
dying
not
off.
worth it, dude. There's a lot of life to live.
This is
She
why-
gave up a 3-year marriage to go to Miami. A 3-year marriage from Miami. She said, well, he didn't let me go to
You
Miami.
say men?
She threw away a 3-year marriage.
Sir, you're making her cry.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. We just been through a lot, and I don't know what else to do.
All right, well, I guess
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn it.
the truth hurts. Women can't handle the truth. They really can't, bro.
So this woman here gave up her marriage just because she wants to go have fun in Miami. I believe there are 3 major problems modern women have, and they have failed to accept, because they still put all the blame for their failure on men. The number 1 reason is lack of commitment. Many modern women are not committed to their marriage. They do not care about their marriage and bring no value to it. And all they care about is themselves and their own satisfaction. 8 out of 10 women think and expect their marriage to be centered around them. When things are not working out and they are having a hard time, they make no effort to fix things. These kinds of women never take time to access themselves and their part in their marriage. I presume if a lot of women were to say, "What am I doing wrong in this marriage? What do I need to change about my attitude to this marriage?" A lot of marriages will be salvaged. But because these women lack wife qualities and companionship skills, they leave all duty for the man, while making it even difficult for the man to save the marriage. Secondly, modern women have trouble with traditional roles. The ideas that modern women support does not fit in the normal marriage settings. Some women have claimed that men that demand their wives to cook or take care of the home are forcing women into slavery, and they have reduced their wives to housemaid. These talks have men's ears ringing. Traditional roles in marriage are now offensive to modern women, which is why you see women opting out of marriage. They just cannot accept the fact that they need to cook for a man or clean the house. It sounds so degrading to them while the man in question is working so hard to able to provide shelter, protect and meet the financial needs of his family. So modern women want men to still keep their traditional roles, but when men require them to do their part, they start ranting on the internet and they ask to bail out. Shameful. Thirdly, as women started getting into the corporate world and started making money for themselves, they realized they were no longer financially obligated to remain in marriages, which confirms the point that modern women are in most marriages for the benefits alone. They are intending to be liabilities unapologetically. So, women began to initiate divorces on a larger scale. But as I have said in one of my previous video, women have the ability to multitask, but that one thing a woman cannot do is to enter into the corporate world with the intention of being independent, not as a support to her husband in running the family. They always lose touch with their femininity and take up the masculine side, which makes it difficult for them to be submissive and accountable to a man, so they want to be on their own.
Divorce my husband. Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them.
Now to the juice of the video. If you divorce your husband because you are no longer happy in the marriage due to selfish reasons, and you feel like you are imprisoned and you call it quit, and yet this man tried all his best to keep you and wanted you to work things out, but the street keeps calling you, and finally, the man lets go and decides to move on with his life, and he is now happy, but you now want him back. That is the craziest thing on earth next to the man who wants to drain the ocean. I would like to share the story of a friend of mine who once had a similar issue. He gave me permission to share, and I am grateful for that. I will call my friend Reese and his ex-wife Sal. So Reese was an engineer that formerly worked for a construction company. He had a very, very good pay, but he didn't have much time because he had to travel around the country a lot, and sometimes he had to travel out of the country. So he met his ex-wife Sal after then. Prior to meeting Sal, he had bought a house. He drives a very good car every time he gets to be in town, because sometimes he goes to work for about 3 months. So when he met Sal, they had a very beautiful relationship, and Sal was already staying in his house, and sometimes she would go to spend about a week with him. Now, after about a year, Reese proposed to Sal, and after about 3 months, they got married, and fast forward to 1 year. Sal was already pregnant, and Reese was trying to reduce his work trip so that he can support her. And since it does not look like it was going to work, he decided to opt to become a contractor with his company, which allows him to choose which kind of job he would go for. And so he got off payroll, and he only gets paid for a job he participated in. And since he has been saving up to build his own construction company, he decides to start the processes. And for this reason, he could not spend as much as he always does, and they were fine all along. But in the next 2 years, his company has not picked up, and the contracts he gets has reduced due to the fact that more committed employees have filled his space. So his earnings have reduced, and he is now putting all his energy and funds into his company. To cut the story short, the next 3 years were not promising for Reese, and problems had already started in his marriage, while Sal has started working, and she is now supporting Reese at home. Now, Sal has begun complaining because her chances of living the lifestyle she was used to keeps getting lean by the year, and she does not have a chance to spend her earnings on herself as she wants to, and the situation keeps getting hotter each time. Then, all of a sudden, Sal decides to stop supporting Reese in the house upkeeps, and this was at the point that Reese needed support the most, like he said to me. And one particular day, they had a heated argument, and Sal decided to leave the house and take their kid along. Reese, realizing he could have done better, reached out to her and apologized. He actually thought it was just a minor issue, until Sal told him after a month that she wants divorce. Reese was broken, and he decides to plead to work things out. And I did not mention that Reese actually sponsored Sal through her master's degree. But as I mentioned before, the moment a woman gets exposed to the corporate world, she is likely to lose her feminine side, which was what happened to Sal, and after much pleading to no avail, Reese had to let her go, and they got divorced. I was Reese's confidant through all this period, and I knew it was difficult for him to deal with the situation. About a year and a half later, one of my YouTuber friends told me about a chain of houses he and his friends are planning to build for Airbnb around the country, and I put out a good word for Reese, and he was able to close the job, and that was the beginning of his wins, and which is why I am privileged to use his story, and he was barely successful now, when his ex showed up and wanted to get back with him, and he was shocked. At that time, Reese was not with any woman yet, but he had made up his mind. He did not want to have anything to do with her anymore. Fast forward to 2023, Reese's company is now doing well, and he is planning to get married now while Sal is still at her job, and she now realizes that all she needed at that time was patience, but she has lost a man that has sacrificed a lot for her. Shout out to my friend for giving me a chance to use this story. There is a saying that you cannot eat your cake and have it. Modern women need to accept this truth. That's all for today on Latest Juice. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like my previous videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, click the subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. Share this video to whomever you would like to watch it. Thanks for watching.